So, Neil, can you really understand what Scott will be going through today? He's been front page of the papers. People are covering the story. He's in the newspapers again today. What will Scott be going through?
Well, good morning to both of you. He'll feel very isolated. And so, I mean, all right, you know, he partly his own fault for he should not have been doing that. As you've quite rightly said, you know, at the end of the day, we are MPs elected to do a job. But when the media come after you, they come after you with force. And of course, you're entirely surrounded, and you feel very much alone. And I think, you know, one of the issues I had with mine was, I mean, mine was self-inflicted. It wasn't corruption. It was just stupidity, and a very wrong thing to do. But, you know, you do actually need some help through the whole situation regarding it, you know, from the party. But of course, the moment the whip is suspended, you are absolutely on your own. And of course, that's what he will be feeling. But of course, you know, it also gives you a great deal of time to reflect on what you've done as well.
And now I get, you know, I understand that your whip's removed, but is there no help or support from the party? No sort of, support from anybody, like, you know, human resources in a way? Because this is separate. This is your life absolutely being exposed. This is difficulty for your family, for friends, and for your staff who work for you. So is there nothing?
Yeah. No, nothing at all. And I think that's what I would say to all political parties, actually, is that, and I think, you see, the trouble with politics is that we are all innocent until proven guilty. The moment that one of us is proven guilty, the rest of the MPs just run for cover. And that's the nature of politics. It doesn't matter which political party you're in. But I think the actual sort of the system within the party, within the parties and within the Conservative Party should actually just have a little bit of care, because at the end of the day, it's your mental state, it's your family, it's everything else that you have to deal with, and I think you know, that's what Scott's having to deal with now. And yes, he's done wrong, and he needs to answer it, and it will be investigated. But in that meantime, you do actually need some care through it. I mean, I was in a terrible state at the time, and like I said, nothing came from the party and nothing since. And so therefore, I'm afraid, you know, it's not the way to deal with people.
Neil, when you say a terrible state, what sort of state are you talking about? When you say you're in a terrible state, what sort of things going through your head?
Well, Esther, I don't have to spell it out on GB News as to what one might have not have done to oneself when one has seen a very good political career just blown up in front of your face. Down to my own stupidity, but also down to my colleagues who were sort of ditching the dirt on me, were far from innocent. So, you know, I mean, it's just crazy. And I don't, there's no point in me being moral about anything. I don't intend to be moral about anything. I can't be. But, like I said, what I will do, and say in all honesty to you, is that there needs to be a system of help through the whole process. And actually, you'd have less trouble and probably not so many whips suspended if this was looked at. And also, I mean, you know, Scott was obviously touting himself around. Surely the whips knew that. Why weren't they doing something about it to stop it, you see? And then when it all blows up, then the whips and everybody else, oh, dear, it's terrible. But, you know, the idea of a whipping operation, it should be there to actually care for the individual and try and stop them going off the rails. But, you know, in Scott's case, it certainly didn't happen, did it?